I got hit with pepper spray in that situation.
For real?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
No, I just went the wrong way. Like, dude, when you, if you get hit with like pepper spray, everything goes out the fucking window. You don't like know what's happening. Like, cause you can't see, you can't open your eyes. You don't know what's happening. It's like in your like lungs and in your throat too. Like it's a weird
Your head
feeling.
spinning, like something crazy. Like it's just,
odd, man. And so like
you just fall to the ground, like you just kneel down.
No.
Thankfully, there's always like street medics or whatever that like take care of people. They'll be like,
drag
here,
me
come here.
to
Those
the
are just
other
volunteers
side.
that are like the people that hand out water and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I got completely disoriented. I didn't know which way I was
went the
going.
wrong way.
No, and like one of the ladies, I guess the street medic, like grabbed me and drugged me over, and then she like dumped like whole milk in my eyes. And
just pour half and half.
Yeah, I was
pour some milk on me. Head ass. Pouring this girl's just pouring milk on you.
It works. It works pretty well.
Welcome back to the STL Bucket List Show. I am your host, Lucas Farrell. We have a very special guest today, but before I do that, I want to thank Half Coast Studios for letting us use the studio. Guys, they record the episodes, they put them up on Spotify, Apple, and YouTube, and they distribute it for us as well. So if you guys have a podcast or want a podcast, definitely hit the guys up at Half Coast Studios. So today I got a really special guest. We got some creators in the building. I got Mike Romer and I got Matt here. Guys, welcome to the STL Bucket List Show.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful studio, by the way.
Yeah, shout out Half Coast. So guys, I wanted to dive right into it. So starting with you, Mike, tell me a little bit about you growing up. I mean, were you always interested in photography? Was that something that came later? Just tell me a little backstory on you.
No, I grew up in Webster. And I was skateboarding and things like that. Like me and my friends would like videotape us skateboarding and things of that nature. But then we eventually kind of broke away from that once I realized that if you break your arm throwing yourself off a 8 stair for like a full entire afternoon, like it's not going to be self-sustainable. Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't work as well.
Yeah.
But then no, I didn't really do anything in photography until about 2012. Once I graduated high school. Okay. And I started hanging out in like Webster University and started hanging out with a group called Film Gang. They were the people that put a camera back in my hands. People like Kyle Flores, Hayden, Dylan Schnitker, these guys that were at Webster University. And once they put a camera back in my hand, I started doing it a little bit more. And then I eventually realized that I could start making money and I enjoyed doing what I'm doing. So. Yeah. That's pretty much where it went from there.
Hell yeah. So that kind of leads into like the next thing is like and this is a question for both you guys. I mean, what type of inspiration drove you to make photos? Did you just like creating? Was it cool seeing, because for me, it's like seeing stuff come to life, editing it, having your own style.
Sure.
What kind of inspiration do you get? I mean, what was like the first thing that inspired you to pick up a camera?
I kind of grew up same way Mike did at the skate park, kind of ran into some kids and they ended up being into graffiti. I ended up, that's how I got into photography, is taking pictures of graffitis, like taught me, at a young age how to use a camera. And then later in life, got into photography and just, making photos. Wanting to see things that other people maybe not have access to or might not see on their daily basis is like the reason I take photos.
Yeah, I noticed that a lot with your guys' content. Like your guys' content's like stuff that I like to see. And that's, kind of that street photography style. So both of you guys came from like the skate culture. I mean, I feel like that culture, a lot of our friends that we were talking about before the show, like there's a lot of people doing really cool, creative shit from skateboarding. Like it started out because that's a creative sport.
For sure.
First of all, like skateboarding is looked down upon because they think that people get in trouble. They look different, they have tattoos, whatever it might be. But really, I've made some close friends through skateboarding and everybody's gone on to do different successful things in life. So going back to like the style, like street photography, I mean, who are some artists in St. Louis? I mean, you can name off, this is the bucket list show, so we can give a little list. I mean, do you guys have a few guys in St. Louis that you guys get inspiration from?
This guy right here. Seriously, before I met him and Grant, like Kilogram on Instagram, huge inspirations that just eventually I met and ended up being great friends with street photographers in St. Louis. I feel like there's not a ton.
It's few and far between. Yeah, there's not that many. I would say like Larry Bomarito, to an extent. It's not necessarily the best type of street photography that I look for, but I mean he's definitely a very talented photographer.
Right, absolutely. So, is that Second Try? He does. Yeah, he does really cool stuff too. So let's just get right into something crazy. So I like to ask, with you guys taking photos, like you guys are going into some bad areas. You guys are going into like at night doing some crazy stuff to get that photo that, it has to be the perfect day. So tell me about the craziest day you guys together, because you guys shoot a lot together. Mm-hmm. What's like the craziest day that you guys can think of like, man, that was like nuts. How did we, and then just tell us about something crazy. And like I said, it's unfiltered, man. So we can talk about whatever.
I don't know, what's the statute of limitations?
There is none. There is none.
I mean, I don't know. So there used to be, what was it? Oh man, I gotta get close to this. What was that? It was on 14th. The park that's right by.
Just downtown.
Mm-hmm.
By
the library.
Okay.
Right? It was right.
Yeah, right by the downtown library. I don't know what that park's called, but yeah.
We used to go down there and just like kind of see what's happening. It used to be almost basically like an open air drug market. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of like situations that happened there where like it seemed very odd, or like it was just weird that it was so open.
Right.
Like there was no one really gave a shit about what was happening there. Yeah, I would probably say that was probably the wildest stuff. I mean, there's other things.
The scar on my leg.
Yeah, I pushed him through a door.
Yeah, we were at this spot, and we were just like randomly driving around, like, what should we do today? Whatever, let's go shoot. And we're driving around. I'm like, have you ever been in that building? Like, not thinking, shit of it. Like, we go in there, like. We walk right in, see a $10 bill on the ground. I'm like, why is there a $10 bill on the ground? Like
abandoned building.
Abandoned building. Yeah. And there's like homeless. There are homeless set up like right next to it. Like someone had lived there at one point or another. I'm like, like that's just odd that like that $10 bill is either getting spent or what. Like it's not just sitting there normally. So I'm like, that's interesting. And like thankfully this door locked. Like I deadbolted the door behind us. I'm like, all right, whatever. Like he's shooting. I'm just like. Doing whatever I'm doing, kicking the dirt, like twiddling Dixie. But we go to leave and the door nudges, like we're like literally about to open it and the door nudges. I'm like, you heard that, right? Like, what the hell? And then next thing you know, it's like, open the fuck up, open up.
And they start kicking
the door.
Somebody
like,
lived in there or just?
No,
So thankfully I had been to this spot before and there was a second exit. We like scrambled to the exit and that's like, I got caught up. It's like a little small opening with like nails sticking out. Like I'm squeezing through.
You're a tall dude. Yeah, you're a tall dude.
Through. I'm like, dude, what the hell? Like we got all cut up, but like we got up or like got out and we walked around the building and it's like, all these dudes in clean clothes, like
it was like 6 guys, like
investors, like on the property.
No, they're not even investors. No,
dope boy, like
like clean dress,
like clean.
Yeah,
like,
okay,
they're
I
not
thought you meant
homeless
like
people.
business people.
No,
definitely
they're
not homeless.
Yeah,
and they were trying to kick the door in, but thankfully Matt locked that door.
Yeah.
Oh, because you guys would have got caught up in there or something.
Lord knows.
Yeah, Lord knows what happened. Right. But you got away and you seen them and then you just kept running.
No, dude, Matt's big ass was trying to squeeze through a door. And he was like trying to like go real slow. I was like, and they were still banging on the door. So I was like, move. And I just shoved Matt through the door.
But that was like a life or death. I mean, you just never know what would happen in that situation.
Sure. I don't want to get my camera stolen. That's the main thing.
The camera and then like, and that was what I was going to go off of, like going in those neighborhoods, like having a camera. I mean, that's got to be sketchy, just having a camera, because like we do shoots all the time and just like even regular areas, like we'll have a camera. People are like, why are you taking pictures?
Bouncing around out
there. A lot of money, but also why are you taking pictures of me? What are you using these photos? Like you guys are using them just for art. It's just art. Have you guys ever had like a situation where like they're like, don't take pictures here,
Plenty.
Kicked out, just like skating.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just like skating.
No, absolutely. I mean, if you really break it down, man, it is actually kind of weird. Like imagine if you were just walking down the street and then someone just shoves a camera in your face as you're walking past them.
Right.
And like, it's very alarming. It's like odd.
And I noticed that with some of your guys' photos, like looking through the website, is like you do like portraits of people. Like, is that somebody you just ask them to take a portrait, or you just kind of get them in their natural state?
All depends.
Matt doesn't. Matt doesn't.
It all depends.
Because they look like they staged it, but it looks like emotion. There's emotion in that photo.
Exactly. Sometimes if you ask, you're going to ruin the photo. They're
fake smile.
Like, hey,
fake smile.
Hit a pose. Yeah.
And that's what the best part about like street photography is. You never know what you're going to get, right? So you could go out and you could shoot for, let's say, like 6 hours and get absolutely nothing,
right?
And then you go out the next day, you shoot for 1 hour, and you get pure gold. You could shoot 300 photos and get one maybe decent photo, one. But then like what I found is that if when you start going out, you can it's kind of hard to like figure out. So like you could walk past someone and take that photo and it's really good, or you can stop and talk to that person and then realize like, oh, if I have a conversation with them, then I can get an actual better photo than it would have been if I just walked right past
Build
them.
that rapport and
there's a story. There's a story behind the image and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And a lot of times, like you're saying, you can get more candid photos once you've talked to somebody. You've hung out with them for long enough they're comfortable and they're not looking at you like, why are you taking a photo? Like it's like,
man. That's crazy. So I kind of wanted to lead that into like the protest. So I seen your Ferguson stuff. I seen the George Floyd stuff. I mean, that was right when you started taking. That was a couple years after you started taking photos.
That was a couple years after I first started taking photos. Yeah, at least Ferguson was. Yeah.
Yeah. So going down there, I mean, tell me about like the emotions you've seen. Tell me about like just being there. I mean, were you ever like scared, or was it more just like, this is insane? I mean, tell me about it. Just tell me about it.
It wasn't too bad. It was also kind of in a time to where there wasn't a lot of photographers down there. I mean, there was obviously like the press and things of that nature, but there wasn't like freelance photographers down there. They weren't really down there. So it was actually more open. So it's much easier to like photograph that when there's very little photographers.
Endless photographers.
Yeah, every single protest now. Yeah, it's just like one photo, like you'll look behind and there's like 9 other guys.
Everybody, and then you see on Instagram that everybody's posting the same.
Exactly. Yeah. So like, I think Ferguson was, it was a lot easier to photograph the situation that was happening in front of us because of the fact that there was less people there, like, and it wasn't that odd, But nowadays, with a Stockley and things of those natures, I walk down there and there's like fucking 80 photographers, out of nowhere. They're all just there.
So you just don't want it. You're just like, whatever, And
no, I still want to document because it is history,
right?
But it's definitely
I
different.
have to work a little harder.
Get different angles.
Something unique.
I'm gonna have to push photographers out of the fucking way.
Yeah, that's it.
Dude, some of those,
I'm gonna push you out the way to get the photo.
Some of those pictures, dude, those were crazy. Like those were like you said, there's a certain emotion compared to a press picture. It's just a basic photo with the little watermark that says the news channel or whatever. But then like the pictures you got were like out of like a photo book or history. Like those would be, like you said, it's history and you didn't think about it at that time. But then looking back at it 7-8 years ago, that's like, dude, that's crazy.
It's 100%. No, 100%.
And those photos still get used.
And a lot of those, the other things like, so a lot of like the news crews that were there, they kind of stood back. They weren't really in the midst drama of everything that was happening. They were kind of like holding back.
Right.
And so that just freed up an opportunity to get better images than they will.
Right. Because you were like, I'm getting in it.
Yeah.
You were probably what, 20, 21 years old at that time, probably?
Oh man, I was I don't even think I would think I was 20.
You said you graduated and you were at Webster.
That was I was 20. I wasn't even old enough to like buy alcohol. Yeah. I was young.
So they're like, who they're looking around the news channel, like they've got their microphones, they're like 40 feet back, like all the way back in the cut.
Well, and they were like they would like press me too.
Oh, okay.
During the Ferguson thing, like some of the news crews were like, "Yo, you're in our shot." I'm like, I don't give a fuck about who the fuck you are. Like, move yourself, bro.
Right.
Like,
That's your job.
Right.
Like I never
How's that
cared.
my problem?
I didn't give a fuck about any of that. No, dude. If I want to get the photo, I'm going to go do it. Like, and if anybody has anything to say about it, I don't care about what they think.
Yeah. That's art, dude, and that's what I've seen. So do you guys carry your cameras on you everywhere you go?
For the most part.
Used to. No.
I mean, during COVID, it really kind of fucked a lot of shit up.
Dude, there was like, I hate to even get into COVID, but yeah, just like it created a weird space where it's like, I don't want to get in somebody's face, like, or even like approach a stranger because I don't know how they feel about it, like.
Right.
So it's like even just
having a regular conversation with somebody is different.
A
now.
stranger,
Way different,
Yeah, because you just walk by the street, and I remember like right when the pandemic started, like we'd be walking on the sidewalk. Me and my fiance would just be walking, and I would cross the other side just because I felt like I had to, and it's so weird now.
Right.
And then like the conversations are different, but like I noticed with your photography, Matt, like it's a lot more portrait focused. Is that
fair?
Is that true? I mean, you obviously have city stuff, but you had a lot more portraits. So tell me about some of your favorite portraits. I mean, is there any like well-known people you took pictures of, or most of the people?
What, you?
No.
I know.
You.
It's me.
Like, well, let's hear like some, and both of you guys. Like, I mean, who's some of the coolest people you took? I mean,
Original Reggie?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Reggie.
He's a fucking legend.
yeah. Maybe in the street community.
I was gonna say I don't know. I don't know who that is.
No, I've not really photographed well-known people, but I mean, I definitely have, of course, my own favorite photos. But yeah, I do.
Which ones? I would like to know.
Yeah, I would like to
describe a photo to you.
Yeah. Who?
I couldn't tell you.
What's your favorite street photo?
Of mine?
Yeah.
It's been like in any show I've ever been in, I have a picture of a firefighter that's like,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
he's got his helmet cam on, or not cam, but like his light on, and there's the truck lights are like illuminating smoke behind him. It's just like, it's my favorite photo I think I've ever taken. Like,
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's in all the shows you do, and that's like.
I mean, I like not even on purpose, but I'm always like, oh, I got to put this in. Like, it's my favorite photo. Like, you guys got to see
Everybody's
this.
got a favorite photo.
Yeah.
I mean, what's your favorite photo? Or what? Like just a couple of them. Like, were they some of the Ferguson ones, or were more just?
No, the Stockley. There's one photo of during the Stockley one. It was right on Market, and it was when the police line was doing like a push, like to push a bunch of people back, and there's like, I don't even know how I got it. I think I got it when I was like moving away from the situation, and I was just taking photos as I was moving back. And it was, they all had like the shields, and there was a guy jumping onto the shields. I think
Like kicking him.
Yeah, that
That wasn't right when that lady was getting.
No, it was
maced or
right.
whatever?
It was right when the girl
I
was
think
getting
you,
trampled.
and you were getting like, you got maced in that same.
I got hit
little
with
second.
pepper spray in that situation.
For real?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
No, I just went the wrong way. Like, dude, when you, like, if you get hit with like pepper spray, everything goes out the fucking window. You don't like know what's happening. Like, because you can't see, you can't open your eyes. You don't know what's happening. It's like in your like lungs and in your throat too. Like it's a weird
Your head
feeling.
spinning, like something crazy. Like it's just,
It's just odd, man. And so like
you just fall to the ground, like you just kneel down.
No.
Thankfully, there's always like street medics or whatever that like take care of people. They'll be like,
they
oh,
drag
here,
me
come here.
to
Those
the
are just
other
volunteers
side.
that are like the people that hand out water and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. And I got completely disoriented. I didn't know which way I was
went the
going.
wrong way.
No, and like one of the ladies, I guess the street medic, like grabbed me and drugged me over, and then she like dumped like whole milk in my eyes. And,
Just pour half and half.
yeah, I was.
Pour some milk on me. Head ass. This girl's just pouring milk on you.
It works. It works pretty well.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're fucked up for about like 30 minutes after that.
Yeah, so you're just sitting there. You were tapped out, and you're like, man. But you got a photo like
I
before or
got
after
easily
that?
one of my best photos, top 3 photos that I have. Yeah.
Before that happened.
It was before. It was during that
It's a blind.
situation that I got hit with this like pepper spray and shit.
It's just crazy, like the photography that you guys do, because like you just never know. There's no shot list. I mean, is there like a shot list you have in your mind, but it never works out like that? It's more
That's
just
like he was saying, you could go out for hours and not get anything. So it's like, no, there's no shot. Like, yeah, you're like, oh, I'd like to get this photo, but
right.
especially in St. Louis, you're like,
Yeah,
it's not a high pedestrian. There's not a lot of foot traffic here. Like it's a car city,
Right.
You know, so it's spread out. You're not gonna if you tried to have a shot list, you're not gonna hit it with street photography.
yeah. The shot list is pretty much few and far between. But like if you go to like New York or like even like Chicago. You know, you go down State Street, you know, you got, you know, thousands of people on the sidewalk. You don't even need to move realistically to be a good street photographer. You can just stand on
Like
a
if you
corner.
live there, you could just like literally just go downstairs and just sit on a bench.
Oh yeah, no, because like then people just like
Chicago
walk
photography's
past you.
dope.
You get a bunch of people that come up and they stop and they wait for the crosswalk, and you have endless, you know, like
Characters.
subjects
Time it
and
out,
characters to like photograph. But here it's you got to walk every single block for a couple hours before.
And it's got to be a nice enough day. It's got to be a nice enough day.
You got to bleed the block. Yeah,
And then that gets to the point where like you parked somewhere And now you're walking, you're going through corners.
All part of the struggle.
But that's fun though, man. I mean, we've done that a couple times, and I do some drone stuff, and like we did some cool stuff, but it's just fun getting out there. So like, is that like a form of like therapy for you guys?
Dude, I've always liked walking. Like, so that's like, it's like an extra that like, oh, maybe I'll get a photo. Like, no, I'm just going to go for a walk. Like,
and then find a photo. And the photo comes to you.
If the photo happens, like, great. But like, I didn't waste my day because I enjoy walking. You know?
Yeah, and since it's like street photography, it's like you just get inspired. Like you walk and then you get to a new block and like the day, the sun is out perfect. Like everything just works out. And then if it works out, it works out because it's not like you're working with a client and they're like, oh, I want this shot with my family and I want this shot with this. I want 25 edited photos. I want this by Friday. So it's just different, man. And that's like a form of therapy of just going out there because I'm sure just, especially you're with your friends, it's something to do where I guess you could get in trouble, but it's a good way to not be in, it's a good way to stay out of trouble, like especially for younger photographers. So like if we have a lot of younger listeners that follow us in like in our community, I mean, what type of advice would you guys give to somebody that wants to do what you guys do, that follow you? I'm sure you get people that message you like, yo, where was that spot at? Yo, that was dope.
Back up your photos.
Back up your photos.
Number one, like, honestly, like a technical thing is like back your stuff up. Like I literally dropped not that I lost all my photos or anything, but I dropped a hard drive the other day and I was like, man, there it goes. Like, got to buy another hard drive. You know, like if that was my only copy of all my photos, they'd be gone. So,
and that could have been that could have been like 30 different days worth of stuff.
Or it's years. It's like all my
your hard drive. I was thinking of your memory card.
No.
SD card.
Oh, SD cards you could throw them shits in the wash. It's no big deal.
Double back up all your work. Yeah. And also just keep shooting.
You
know, just definitely keep shooting. You know, the only way you're going to get better is if you keep practicing something.
Right.
You know, like even to this day, I don't think that I'm that good of a photographer. But like the thing is, though, like if you keep working towards what you want, you will get it. Right. You know, it's just you just got to be persistent.
Yeah, and that's with anything in life. You know, and it's the same thing as like riding a bike. It's like, okay, I'm good at riding a bike. I haven't rode a bike in a year, but I could still do it. But I'm not going to be as good as I was if I ride that bike every day.
Exactly.
And even if you're not good, and if you enjoy it, do it. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I hate about creative endeavors a lot. It's like, what's the like end goal? Like, well, just the process, right? Like just getting out there and doing it is the best part. Like that's what like, do you guys sometimes I don't even edit photos. I'm like, I just liked having it, you know, like the process of doing it. That's
what I was going to ask is like the editing process. Cause like sometimes I'll be out like, taking like a drone photo and like I go straight home and I throw that thing and edit it right away. Is that like, do you guys do that sometimes or sometimes?
Oh, I do it all the time. Yeah.
You turn stuff around quick. You're like, I want to post that tonight.
I enjoy taking the photos and I like shooting the photos, but I really enjoy
the back end.
The back end.
You do like
editing. Because you can change everything. You know, if you're shooting in a RAW, you know, like you can change everything.
Right.
You can do like change the shadows. You could change colors of people. Like there's so much things that you could do. Like, you know, like the sky. If the sky is not as blue as you want it to be, you can change that. You know, like I think that's awesome. I really enjoy editing.
Okay, well that's rare because like a lot of people like put it on the back burner and then you get work that's caught up. You probably have so much.
I get it done. I get it done within as soon as I possibly can.
So what programs do you guys like? What was one program you can't live without?
Lightroom.
Same. Sure. Yep. Okay.
I haven't even touched Photoshop.
You don't touch Photoshop that much?
No. I haven't even done it once.
Yeah. You know, like, Lightroom's got everything you need. So yeah.
Yeah. I also don't like manipulating an image to an extent that Photoshop can give you.
Right.
You know, like I like being able to take a photo and pretty much just change minor things about it, like highlights, shadows, and like tonal curves.
Right.
Like other than that, I don't really like changing anything else. I don't like, you know, going in, zooming in someo's face, taking all the acne out. Like, no, like
removing
that is the person. Yeah. That's the person. Right. You know, like
can you fix my neck? Like,
I'm good. I'm good. Go find someone else to do that stuff. But like, no, I'd like to keep it as pure as it possibly can be.
Yeah.
I don't like doing all this extra shit.
No, I feel that. And that's like kind of what, like when I see your posts, like they just kind of stand out because, you know, it's like you have that certain style. So, you know, is that style inspired? Like, I know we talked about inspirations, but like, is there somebody, and this could be like globally, because I know there's some crazy photographers nationwide that you probably see, like you're probably just like at work and you're like, man, he's so much better than me.
It's Bruce Gilden.
Bruce Gilden?
Bruce Gilden.
Okay.
He is easily one of the best street photographers. He's definitely up there with one of the best street photographers, but Bruce Gilden is hands down one of the best street photographers, in my opinion.
For sure.
You know, he's he shoots with a flash. And he's still shooting film.
He's a jerk, though.
He's doing. He's an asshole.
If you ever watch a video of Bruce Gilden, he's a straight asshole. He gets in people just gets straight in people's face, and then with one hand with the camera and the one hand with the flash in their face,
and they're just like, what?
Yeah,
and it's like crazy face.
He's my biggest inspiration, hands fucking down.
Dickhead, but yeah,
absolutely.
Do you think like you have the chance of like when you're doing shit like that? I mean, like. Get beat up doing some shit like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Like, what are you doing? Smack the camera out of your just like press, like you're like a street TMZ.
It happens all the time. No, it definitely is happening.
That's crazy. So Bruce, where does he shoot out? Like where's
he's
home?
New York. No, he's from Jersey. He shoots in New York.
Is he from Jersey?
Yeah, he is from Jersey. But he shoots in like Manhattan a lot. I mean, the dude's like fucking 65 years old. I think he might be older than that.
Yeah, now he's not getting smacked up because he's a...
Yeah, but...
he's a veteran.
If you look him up...
He's a OG.
If anybody's listening, looks him up, like definitely check him out. Like there's a lot of documentaries about him.
There's a guy that I've been following that's in Detroit that does... like he's got like this bright film type camera. I think Volandes. Because he uses Fuji, and my media guy uses Fuji, so we kind of look at his stuff.
Yeah, we met him when we were in Detroit.
That dude is crazy.
Yeah, he's sick. Dude.
That dude is crazy. But I think he's tapped in with those neighborhoods because he gets some shots that you couldn't get. You couldn't get those shots with the AK, like whatever Uzis, whatever. Like,
for sure.
I'm like, that's crazy. His stuff, I like how bright it is. Like I think yours, when I was looking at some of your church shots, they're like a darker thing. I like that, but that bright gives it like I love the flowers and the pinks and the greens and stuff like that.
He's always been sick at editing, but like whatever camera he uses now, it's like that's like a film. Like I'm sure he edits it too, but like it's like a certain film.
Shoot with a 120 RB65. The same thing that...
Are you saying that he does? I don't know.
No, I'm pretty sure it is. I don't know if that's the actual
I thought he
name.
used a Fuji, but he might use the film camera with that, but I know...
I know he does shoot Fuji, but he also has like a podcast. Not a podcast, but like a vlog.
Yeah, vlog style. Which that's cool too. Have you guys ever thought about doing any like behind the scenes like of days, nothing? No. Days in the life, anything like that?
I'd like to like some sort of video stuff.
I feel like people would watch it. I would watch that. Yeah. Like I like watching... what goes on like a day of you guys just traveling and then, like even if it's just for like a reel or like a something short where it's like you guys up there and then it flashes to all the photos you took that day. You know, like those little things.
Well, have you ever heard of Watch X Witness?
No, I have not.
It's on YouTube. Watch X Witness. It's with Jason Goldwatch and 13th Witness. Those were the guys that were in there, and that really inspired me a lot too. That's another one other than Bruce Gilden. But they were like, it was just like two friends. They would just go travel wherever the fuck they wanted to. They did like one in Florida.
And they do like a documentary vlog.
Similar,
like
but
a
it's
movie style vlog. Or just
only like 5 minutes.
It's like a super cut.
Yeah.
But it's like they don't talk about it. They're just, it's just shots
shooting.
of them like
and B-roll and nice music and then shots.
Exactly, yeah. Alexander Spit was their music, which is always cool as fuck that they put them in, that they put him in there. But yeah, Watch X Witness was another really big inspiration. It just made you want, like, you ever like watch something and you're like, oh, I got to go out and now fucking shoot, or like if you watch a skate video, like now I got to go out and skate. For sure, you know. I
watch like a lot of like motivational stuff. So like in business, I'm like, oh shit, I got to work harder. Like you see these people that inspire you, and that's kind of like something I do with social media. Is like I make my feed, the stuff that I see is the stuff that motivates me, and I don't unfollow people, but I might mute them if I don't want to see their stuff because like it might not motivate me.
You don't unfollow people?
I do, but I'm saying like if they're like somebody I like, I'm not just gonna unfollow them. I just might mute their content.
People get hurt. But,
I might just mute their content because I'm like, I need to see stuff from people that have what I want and have been where I've been. So if it comes like, this could be like just people like, you know, like videos like from Gary Vee or any of these people that like, oh, that he motivates me. So I want to see his stuff rather than seeing some dude with his new car, you know, or whatever. Like, I don't care.
I don't care about that.
Yeah, I don't care.
And that's smart social media usage. Yeah. It can be toxic as all hell, but it sounds intelligent the way you're doing it.
Yeah. And you guys probably, your feed, if I went to your guys' people that you're following, I could probably find 100 other people that are doing similar stuff that you guys are doing. Because that's probably who you get inspiration from.
I feel like a lot of that stuff is getting muted nowadays, man.
Like, you don't even see it anymore. Yeah, you just see ads.
When I go through my Instagram feed, it's like memes.
Yeah.
And like, I pretty much all the people that
but
I
it used
follow,
to be back in the day, like all dope photographers.
Like photography, like through and through. And that's why I got on Instagram.
Moving to Twitter because it's like they're not whatever, like the algorithm's not there in the same way that
Twitter's different?
Allegedly, I don't know.
I like Instagram because it's built for visual, but at the end of the day, if you're seeing memes, it's like, why am I seeing? But that might be like, look at who you're following and be like, follow different people. But it only shows you the people. It only shows you like the 20 people you interact with most. So you keep seeing the same people's stuff over and over.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. Like just like kind of curate your feed to what you want to see because that's an extension of your life.
Right.
Is who you see on a daily basis.
That shit, man. Fuck that, bro.
No, I'm serious. If you see something you don't like, just mute. Mute and just keep doing that and then like unfollow.
If something I don't like, I just unfollow it.
Yeah, either way.
I just immediately.
Either way. No. It does either way. So, what is your guys' dream project or dream? Like, is there like a project where you're like, I want to take a trip. Let's plan this out. Like, what is your? If you guys have a similar one, you talked about being buddies.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Shooting war.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to see especially nowadays with what's going on between Russia and Ukraine, stuff like that. Even stuff in Syria. There's still a lot of stuff going on in Afghanistan. I'd rather shoot photographs of things that have more historical content.
Things that matter.
I can't say that because there's a lot of things that do matter here in St. Louis. Right. So it's not even about that. It's just that these are things that it's pretty wild what's going on. Over in like Ukraine.
Right.
And I don't think it's like if you pull your phone up, like there's really not a lot of news about it,
exactly. Unless you're there, or unless
or unless the algorithm's all fucked up, But like,
it's not that like I almost said content, but that like it's not that market's not saturated. There's not like it's not over. There's not too many conflict photographers, right? Like
facts, yeah.
There's probably a dearth of them,
Yeah, and I really want to go shoot that. That's something that I've always, when I first started taking photos, that's the main thing I really wanted to focus on was conflict photography. Like
that's what drew you to the protests and stuff. That's what drew you to.
Yeah, all politics aside, I'm here to just completely document what I am seeing in front of me. Everything else is. I'm not here to I'm not going to post it being like, well, this side is better than that side.
Right.
No, this is just content that I'm seeing in front of me.
How do you go about getting out to do something like that? Is that just something you have to do on your own or like you have to work as a journalist under somebody, a photojournalist under another company or?
To an extent. So what you have to do for a lot of guys, what a lot of people are doing to get into that realm is they pay for their ticket and they pay for their talker. So a talker is someone that they meet up with and
can speak both languages.
They know the area. They know where the front line is. They know where's the good spot, the bad spot. They know, if you're going into a bad area. They know all this stuff. You can go to another step and get security along with you. But I mean, it's an expensive thing. So then you go there and you meet up with these people and you take those photos and then you come back and you edit them and then you send those to publications and you try to sell them.
Okay.
So
it's like if this works, it works. If not, I'm out of money.
100%.
Okay. I didn't know if you got paid.
You're not only gambling with your life.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If I'm gambling with my life, you gotta run up a bag for me.
Right.
Yeah.
But
it's not how it works.
Once you do it a couple times, once you establish yourself,
then they call you every time something goes down.
They're like, you want to gamble again? You're like,
because they're like, dude, like even our guys that work for all these things, like they're not gonna go do that. They got families and kids. Like we're gonna send this fucking crazy dude from St. Louis. We're gonna send this dude out there.
I got no problem. I got no kids.
So you'd risk it all for a photo. I mean that. Well, I guess
it's not like I would. I mean,
you'd be safe about it, but
I'd be conscious about what's around me, and I go off gut feelings.
But that would drive you, like that would make you feel alive.
I really would love to shoot that type of material.
That's
100%. That's
sick. It will happen.
Thing.
It will happen. Yeah.
Hopefully,
it will.
27. I'm 27 now.
Oh
so,
yeah, it'll happen. Just get out there, man.
I'm working on it.
27, you're going.
If there's anybody that wants to hire me to go photograph war, please let me know.
Go fund me. What about you, man? I mean, what's one of your dream projects?
That's a hard question to answer. Just traveling, like any more travel that I can do. Yeah.
Do you build most of your travel around photography, or do you just build it more?
My wife would Yeah, she hates it, but yeah.
Like you'll be like traveling to a nice beach and you'll just be there, like, and she'll be like walking. She'll be like, "Where you at?" And you're like still back. Yeah, I feel you.
Or just in general, I'm like, "No, we can't go there. There's no photos." She's like,
take.
Like,
so you would never not take your camera. Like she was like, "Yo, just don't take your camera." You're like, "I got to."
No, she's used to it at this point. But yeah, it's just as far as travel goes. Yeah, it drives me for sure because that's like. You get in a certain area, like in St. Louis, you've taken
every spot,
every
nook and
landscape photo that you can take, and not like obviously not really, but for the most part, you've done that, and then it's traveling that creates that new that old sensation
of what you used to feel.
Oh yeah, you like I'm so hyped to get out with my camera and just. I want to get up at dawn and do it all day, So it's like just traveling.
Because I feel like people get burnt out, man. Especially if no traction's getting built. Like if you're like taking all these photos and one doesn't pop off, and it's not all about like popping off on social, but that helps.
I gave up on all that.
I know, but when somebody when a photo pops off, you're like and gets shared, you're like, oh,
sure,
okay.
Yeah.
It helps.
That was good.
It's not all about that.
It's not in my head.
It's a dopamine thing, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh wow, someone thinks that this photo is cool enough to share it. Yeah. I when I first started on Instagram, I thought that was the coolest fucking thing in the world. I eventually gave up on all that.
Yeah.
Like I'm just gonna if you look at for instance, if you look at my feed, pretty much for the past 6 or 7 months now, it's just only photos of my friends. And I'd rather photograph things that I care about, like the people that are around me and things of that nature, instead of I know if I go down to the arch front and, get a photo of that, I know I'm going to get
throw that annual arch
hundreds of likes and it's going to get reposted all the time. But I'd rather just photograph the people around me than fucking worry about, what's going to get likes.
What photos matter to you.
I gave up on all that. But back in the day, I used to really care.
No, I'm sure, man. And that's drives people from doing it. So that feeling of getting burnt out, you're like, man, I'm putting all this work in, I'm traveling, I'm spending money, I'm investing. Obviously in my craft and it's not paying off. I mean, is there ever times where you guys, and I don't see this happening, but it's there are times where I'm just going to give it up camera.
No way.
Never.
I don't do it for that reason. It's not a job for me. So it's just for fun.
Right. And if once it becomes a job, you take a job working in photography, right? Taking pictures of cars or not even cars are dumb, but taking pictures for Kia, just taking you're working with the camera.
I'll do it if they want.
I mean, I still
do
it. I do it all the time. I don't give a shit. I could really care less about. I mean, if they're gonna pay me, they're gonna pay me, and I'm fucking cool with that. I did social media marketing for Spruce Street for almost a year, probably.
So you did all the content, and you do graphics and all that.
Oh no, I don't do the graphics. Okay. No, Chris Delgazo does the graphics, and he's an absolute fucking legend.
I like their brand.
Yeah,
their branding's sick.
Also Taylor. Oh jeez, I can't think of her last name. But Taylor.
She was in the show, right?
She was in the show. Yeah, she was in the show.
Yeah, they kill it on social though.
They really do a good job. Chris and Taylor. Chris Delgazo is also a really talented photographer as well.
Nice.
But I did that for, I don't know if it was a full year. When COVID hit, it pretty much went away. But I would shoot Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it was really fun in the beginning. But then it started to become dull, because you're getting the same fucking photos every single time. Yeah, it's
everybody's like, Mike, take a picture of me, send it to me, and you're taking free photos for people.
I actually like that more than anything else.
That was a cool part about it.
I mean, they were paying me to do it. So I didn't care about that. Right. But it's just it just becomes monotonous, and it's just
club
the same
photography,
thing
though,
over and over.
Club photography, I feel is just hectic, man. I feel that.
It is.
Kind of like street photography.
It is. Yeah, no, you can, the way that I shot it was like street photography. I would walk past and I see a group of people partying and take some photos of them.
Tell them.
Candid. Yes, exactly. That's the word I'm looking for. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you guys let's go into common myths, because in industries everybody has myths. So what are a few myths or just one that you guys hear about photographers or about specifically your guys' style of photographers would probably be easier because it's such a broad market.
Like a myth?
Yeah.
Street photography can't be forced. That's like people said that to me before. I'm like, yeah, it can't. Bruce Gilden is a prime example of is he not a street photographer? That's exactly what he's doing, is forcing that.
That's a good.
It can't be staged.
Yeah,
it can't be staged.
I wouldn't have thought about that. I don't even know how to really answer that.
It's still created. It's not it's you created a moment in and of itself by being their reaction
created an emotion out of that
Right,
person. They
yeah.
made a facial expression,
Yep.
like they were mad or
Yep.
something like that, and then that came through the picture because the picture only shows
Right.
one side of the story.
Something I've always wanted to do is like I have all these like, you know, you'll be walking past somebody on the sidewalk and you go to take a photo and their initial reaction is they're mad. You know, like you get that first photo and they're like, what the fuck? Like, and then like slowly their expression changes as they get closer and you're like in their business and they're like, like suddenly they're like not
all
mad
cool
at
with it
all.
now.
It's like, dude, that's such
Most
a weird.
people like to get their pictures
Oh
taken.
yeah.
Most people
But,
like are
the-
flattered by that.
The initial reaction is like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then it's, "Oh, hey!" Like it's just funny the like different like the change in those emotions.
Yeah,
I don't even know.
they're myth. Like
A myth
That you're good at photography?
Yeah. That's
that's a
definitely
myth. That's a myth.
I don't really know. I mean, street photography is, in my opinion, is probably the most frustrating form of photography, hands down.
That's what makes it fun, though.
Yeah, you know, like I said earlier, it's like you could go out there for a full day and shoot a shit ton of photos of people walking past you or like and stuff like that and get nothing.
Yeah,
You know, I think the next one would probably be like nature photography. That'd probably be pretty difficult, you know, because then you have to get the right conditions. If it's like if it's bright sunny days, like that's not
because
gonna
like
help.
product photography, you can move the product how you want it to be.
Inside.
Well, product photography, you can
Control
have
the light.
lights. You know, you can really control the
control
situation. You know,
Same with car photography or automotive.
Same with that,
like
yeah.
you can position it or.
But I mean, everything in street photography is pretty much just basically shot from the hip.
Yeah,
you know, you
the
don't really
mercy
know what
of
you're walking
what's gonna
into.
happen.
And you guys like people. Like I feel like your content's people focused. Is that?
Oh,
is
for
that
sure.
Where it
Yeah.
is? Yeah.
I'd rather talk to people than anything else.
wall?
I mean, yeah. Other than
Have you guys thought about?
Oh,
doing,
yeah.
Have you guys thought about doing like a photo book or like some type of like a portrait book or like a story?
Yeah.
I've thought about it, man, but
Just for personal.
Maybe someday. Yeah.
like a
for
coffee
sure, just
book.
to have it,
Yeah.
or like for the friends and family or whatever. But
Yeah, that would be super dope. I feel like, and there's something special about like your picture. When your picture becomes something that hangs on the wall, it's like something different. It's something different
it
about
changes it completely. Like, yeah, there's probably photos I would have forgot about, but for the fact that they're like on my wall at home, like, oh yeah, like I love this.
yeah, I
photo.
remember
like,
that.
I was there, like, yeah, it's
Like I took that shit.
yeah.
So
and just seeing something in print, like it does, like as opposed to your phone, it's like cheap, you know, like you see it in print, you're like, oh, so that's why, like, yeah,
it brings value. It brings value
would
to
be
it.
great.
And so besides St. Louis, like obviously St. Louis, I feel like is a pretty dope city to take photos of. That's just what I see. But obviously there's other cities. I mean, like, what are some of the best cities that you guys had? Like whether it could just be the best trip in general, but also just the coolest city. Like I know like some in the South, you know, there's some cool places. So
hands down Detroit.
SDetroit. And that's similar to St. Louis as far as the city style.
In my personal opinion, it's a better version of St. Louis.
Really? Better in
Can't
what
say
way?
that on the STL bucket list.
No, it's controversial, bro. It's cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it don't matter. It don't matter, bro.
Detroit just seems like, I mean,
Detroit
it
seems
felt-
grimy, bro, but like grimy in a good way.
It's like their downtown is like oddly, it like has a lot going on.
they got a nice casino down there.
Yeah,
a
they
bunch
got
of
it. Like
stuff.
they turned Detroit around. It's weird.
yeah, it's just like, it just seems like, I mean, where we stayed was in a pretty rough area, from my knowledge. But everybody that around us and everybody that we met, like, were incredibly nice. If you go to certain places in St. Louis, you know, like,
random people coming around with cameras. And,
well, it's just a different thing.
Depends on St. Louis has so many different neighborhoods, and there's so like you were talking about Cherokee earlier. Then you got like Central West End that's uppity, Lafayette Square that's uppity. Then you got South City where I stay at, and you know you got all these little neighborhoods, and it's cool to like learn that. But Detroit, I heard Detroit like photo wise, like they got the churches up there, they got the abandoned,
they got
abandoned buildings. For
We actually have
days.
more than them.
Don't they have like war zones going on up there, like between like in certain neighborhoods, like some type of crazy stuff going on?
I'm sure. I don't know about that.
Word?
Would you
You like conflicts?
would you say Detroit was like more dangerous than St. Louis in certain parts, or would you say
I think a lot of it, when you travel, I think a lot of it comes down to you being naive
you don't know
and not knowing where exactly
you don't
you're
hear
at.
stories about
Well,
certain
like,
areas.
I mean,
You
I
haven't
know,
heard what happened to your homie at that same spot.
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't know.
like, I mean, when you're in St. Louis, like, at least I'm fairly confident I know where like the rougher neighborhoods are at and and things like that. So when you travel to a new city, you don't really know.
You can tell.
You can tell.
I can
but
look
you
at a
don't
map
know
of
how
St.
bad.
Louis and I'm like, I know that that's
for sure.
But that's
You can
usually the
drive
ones you
down
guys get the
south-
best work in, though.
You can drive
so-
down
Oh,
Gravois,
yeah.
And think like, oh, this
Yeah.
place looks fucking rough, but it's not nearly as bad as if you went to like
That's just run down
Dayton,
South City or
or something like
just-
that.
yeah.
So like I think a lot of it comes down to just when I travel, I'm naive. I don't really know exactly if this neighborhood is as bad or if it just looks bad. Because there's certain neighborhoods in different cities that look rough, that are just fine.
So let's learn more about Detroit, man, because you made a statement here about Detroit being.
I just love it, man. The
just love
food there
Detroit?
is phenomenal.
For real?
The people there are phenomenal.
People are nice there. That's what
Very
I don't
nice.
know.
Well, it's technically still a Midwest town, and people say
Yeah.
the Midwest is supposedly nicer, but that's just,
I always say St. Louis is like the East Coast of the Midwest. Like people they're not that friendly. Like
Right.
maybe out in certain areas, but not a lot. Like a lot of St. Louis is not that friendly.
And we have the suburbs of St. Louis.
Like,
Are you guys?
real.
You guys are both from the suburbs of St. Louis. You're from Webster, and you're from. Okay, so yeah, like growing up in the suburbs, it was, and then when I moved to South City about 3.5 years ago, like South City's like a tight knit neighborhood. Everybody's outside. Everybody talks to you. It was like a different vibe than I was ever used to.
Right.
And so I'm like right over there by Hampton and like Chippewa, so it's like right in South City
You're in
area.
Tower Grove.
Yeah, technically it's Southampton, technically, but
Yeah.
right over by Tower Grove Park.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
I can walk up there. So yeah, it's just like a good area, and it's a safe neighborhood. I mean, of course, like we get our car broken into, but it's just part of the it's just part of it.
Chalk it up to the game.
Yeah, it's just the game,
Essentially, right,
and I never get upset about it. I mean, it's whatever, So
It could happen anywhere.
it could happen anywhere, man. And I'm just inspired by St. Louis, like of the community focus. Like people come together and support local so heavy in St. Louis. So I don't know about other
100%.
cities. Obviously, other cities do that. That's just what we see. So it is the STL Bucket List podcast. So I wanted to get the GOAT spot in St. Louis to take photos with. Like, what is it like? It's perfect weather. You and the squad have nothing to do. It's Saturday. You guys are both off work. Where's a good spot that you guys like? Obviously it changes, but like what's a go-to spot?
I honestly don't know what that park is called, but right on the other side of the river, the east side, where there's like a lookout and you can see see the whole cityscape across the river.
Oh, that's Cahokia Grounds. Is that Cahokia?
No,
it's
it's called-
Cahokia's a
it's
little
like
bit
a-
further.
You can see
Like a little lookout
There's the
point.
train tracks right there with the train.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
and
that
you
called-
can walk down the train
Is that
tracks.
Cahokia? That's not.
No, that ain't Cahokia, but the Cahokia Grounds have like the mounds on it where you can
Right,
stand
right,
up.
right.
That's like the best view. Of
And you
St.
can
Louis.
get down to
that
the river.
Sunset is it's beautiful. Like if you get a good sunset there, like
I mean,
it doesn't matter if you could. Like you don't know what a camera is, you're gonna get a good photo there.
Right. You get a good
it's
picture with an old phone.
Yeah.
I would say anything that involves a drone. Like, I mean, you can
Washed.
It's true though. Like, I mean, shit.
That's your
Drones
bucket
are
list?
Yeah, anything that's drone related. Yeah, you could get a good fucking photo.
Do you use drones?
Oh yeah, I have a drone. Yeah,
What do you use? The Mavic
the Maverick Mini.
Mini?
Yeah.
We have an Air 2S, and dude, it turned me, like I'm not even a photographer, but like it turned me into a videographer and photographer just
Well, it
because how
changed it.
crisp
It's a-
that
it's
gimbal
a-
is, how
sure.
smooth those videos
Yeah.
are. And we sell it to businesses. Like, I could do a flyover of your business.
sure,
And they're like,
yeah.
that looks crazy.
You could do a lot of stuff with even like real estate.
Yeah. Aerial
photography and stuff like that,
Commercial buildings, anything.
For sure. It just changes your perspective of what you're looking at, which in any shape or form is fucking cool.
Yeah, drone photography is dope. I didn't know if you guys, like, some photographers are like, nah, you got to get up on there and take that.
That's
photo.
me.
I was gonna say when he said drone, I was like,
Oh, we did that.
I didn't even want to tell you I use drones because I thought you were like, that's
No,
whack.
no.
But don't get it twisted. I've climbed on all of those
No, I know.
buildings.
Yeah.
But you're like, it's a
I
lot
got
easier when
on
I'm like
all
this.
the-
Right.
They're all up there, and he's just like, bzzz.
Yeah,
He
exactly.
flies just like taking street photos, just buzzing in people's face. Like, come on, dude. The hell's
You
matter?
know, like it used to be back before really the drones were a big thing, like back in like 14, 15. Like the only way to really get like a good shot of downtown was you had to find a way onto the rooftop of the building, and
It is cool. A lot of the drone shots you just can't get. Obviously, you can't get
yeah.
any
Those
other
shots you
way,
couldn't
so it's
get, and
like,
now you see those more coming
it
out, and
opens
you're
it
like,
up. You're like, damn,
I
where's
never knew what
that?
the top of that building
Yeah,
looked
yeah.
like. And like
Yeah.
some of the people I see climbing crazy shit, and it's sketchy, but that's the whole chase of it. That's the whole
Right.
sport.
Yeah.
Like, would you call it a sport? Street photography?
Yeah, I mean,
it's
yeah.
a sport. I mean, you're getting cut up, dude.
Right.
Like running. I mean, you're hiking. You're doing
Right.
crazy. It's
Yeah,
weather.
It's physical, that's for sure. Yeah.
it's definitely physical. But I mean, I don't know, man. I think I wouldn't call it a sport.
What's a sport?
Like soccer, baseball.
It doesn't have a ball.
Somebody's got to. I think somebody's just got to be trying to keep you from getting what you want, right?
Right.
It's a sport. No.
There has to be a. But can you win? You can't win though.
You can't win.
So it's
not sport. Yeah, you're right.
You can't win. I mean, you could.
It's an endless sport.
You could be the most famous street photographer of all time, but what that's gonna then you're just gonna keep shooting, or somebody's gonna pass you.
Yep.
So let's talk about business because obviously money is important. It's not everything when it comes to photography, but like, tell us about the business side of it. Do you guys have people? We have people all the time that are like, "Hey, can you just hook us up with photos?" And it's like, it's time, dude. And the time is valuable. The time is valuable.
Right.
We can't do free stuff for you anymore. Like we have a whole business when it comes to marketing, and like we just can't do. So like, I'm sure you guys have done that. Everybody's like, yo, like I'll post it. It's like, that's not gonna do anything for me. Like unless you have like hundreds of thousands of followers. Maybe if they're super famous,
I'll give you clout points. Like
if they're super famous, no,
it doesn't pay my rent. No.
Okay. I didn't know that because that could help you, but at the end of the day, you know, tell us about the business side a little bit.
I'll shoot anything for money. I will. It doesn't matter. Yeah, absolutely.
That's a good clip. That'll just cut that, and then that's all we'll post. And
I'll shoot anything for money.
Okay.
Right.
No, absolutely.
You want to elaborate, or?
Yeah, no. Like, I mean, I shoot weddings. I shoot engagement photos. I shoot baby photos. I shoot senior photos. Anything that needs to be photographed, I'm all game for. Even if I haven't shot that. The way that I look at it is like, if I shoot that, then I could possibly learn something from that.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I'll photograph literally fucking anything. You know.
So does it help you in business, do you think? Or do you think it'd be better like niching down to like,
it puts money in my pocket.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, of course. Yeah. I'm definitely going to shoot anything that involves me making money. And,
that's part of being humble too. Like, even though that's like might be below you to take pictures of like a 16-year-old's senior photos, but it's like, if that pays me $250, $400, $500 for an hour, you know, whatever it might be, then it's like, you have to do that, you know, if you want to be.
And also like, I firmly believe that in every single photo shoot that I do, I learn something from that, whether that is on the business end or whether that's, you know, how to operate the camera in a better way, or working with different lighting, you know.
Or you might learn what you might not want to do anymore. You're like, I really might not want to do that as much. I might not want to advertise it.
Man, I don't know. I don't think I ever want to stop taking any photos for whatever reason. Right. I've had plenty of photo shoots that have gone bad to where like, it was like, man, that was fucking terrible. But never once would I be like, I will never do that again.
Okay.
I think I don't know. I think that's a silly way of thinking.
Yeah.
I think you should always photograph everything that is presented to you, as long as the money is there. And, you know, because I'm going to have to take off work, you know, and things like that. So, like, I need it to be worth my time.
Yeah. Where like a wedding would be well worth your time of taking off a Saturday, but going to take photos for a baby thing where they're like, oh, well, I'll give you $125.
But the thing that's nice is it's like, if you're talking to people, then if you're talking to the client that wants this baby photos done, like I go into work at like 8:00 at night.
Right.
You know, so like we can work around these times. Like we can do it in the morning, we can do it in the afternoon, we can do it, you know, even at 5:00 if we want to go that route. You know, so like I'm lucky enough to where I work at late nights, so I don't have to worry about, you know, my midday.
Right. And during the week, you're kind of freed up to do stuff.
For sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So that's huge. What about you with business? I mean, is there any like things that you wish you did different in business, or was it more?
It came a time where I didn't want to do photography for money at all. Like I kick everything with this man. If somebody reaches out, I'm like,
he's your referral, he's your salesperson, and they come to him. They're like, this dude's just stuff similar to me. I trust him.
Yeah.
You just say I trust him.
No, really, yeah. That, like I'm like, he's better than me. I don't like. You're gonna want him, really. Like,
so you just don't like. It's just a hobby for you now, or would it say it's a hobby? Yeah,
hobby. No, it's a hobby. Yeah, okay. I mean, what else would it be? But no, I like I said earlier, I kind of despise editing. It's like the process of taking photos is fun, but then like on the back end, so like I've even taken jobs and then been like, Mike, will you edit this for me? You know what I mean? Yeah. Like I hate like just as far as getting paid. So
that's why with your own photos, you don't mind editing. But if you're editing 100 pictures of a baby, you know, then you're like, it loses the drive of like why you even started. You didn't even start to make it a business. I mean, maybe.
Exactly. Yeah.
So. But that shows though, in like the stuff that it shows in photographers, like there's a different side of passion, because there are those photographers that just take a bunch of pictures, share them, and like it might not fit with their theme, it might not fit, and everything has your name on it, whether that you like it or not. And I'm sure when people pay for the photos, I mean, I guess they tag you, but they don't have to if they pay you.
No, I don't really care about that.
As long as it's paid, then it's whatever.
I mean, shit. Even nowadays, I don't really post at all too much anymore.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool though that you guys have two completely different outlooks, but like at the end of the day, you're getting work from this dude because you used to do it all the time.
Oh yeah.
And that was like what you wanted to do, is like be full time.
Well, nah, I never really wanted to be full time. I mean, there was a time where I like sent photos to Time or whatever from like protests and like if this happens, and I just happy, like for sure I'd be a photojournalist if it just happens, but no, like it's never been my only goal in life, I guess. Yeah.
So let's talk gear. What we got here? Them Canon boys, we're filming on a Canon too?
Canon. Both of them, right?
Yeah, both Canons, yeah.
I'm running a Canon 6D.
It's essentially the same camera.
Yeah, they're both 60s.
This one's been through some shit.
260. Yeah, that's
to the back end of it.
Is this you? Oh yeah, this thing's been through.
Yeah, I got to get a new one eventually, man. But yeah, I do that. I have a 17 to 40, a 21.4, 35 1.4, 85 1.4,
7200. I sold
7200. My man's hooked me up on the fucking 70 to 200. And then I run a 430 Mark I flash with an ETTL cord. Okay.
That's for club stuff, and like that helps you in.
It helps in every way. Like I would also shoot a lot of street stuff with flash.
Oh really?
Bruce Gilden. He was the one who really showed me that. Like if you start shooting with flash, it looks really fucking cool, man. It's
easier on the back end to edit and stuff like that.
It's more contrast.
Yeah, there's a lot shadow more in the background. The subject's fully illuminated. That's
you shoot flash too a lot?
No, but just it's like that's like if I'm ever trying to edit a photo, that's what you're trying to accomplish, is like your subject to stand out. So it's like,
but to flash in somebody's face is crazy though. Right. Like that's like
it's definitely alarming. But then again, I don't really care.
Do that on the street. It's kind of crazy.
Like, hell no, not in St. Louis.
No, I don't care. I do it. I don't care. I don't.
No, that's dope though. Like Canon, I mean, obviously for photos, but is there like a dream camera that you guys want? Or is
anything? I would like a Leica M10. I would like a Leica M10.
GoFundMe. What's the plug for GoFundMe?
Yeah, we'll drop it in the link. Yeah. We're gonna get you to Pakistan, wherever you want to go. Plus a new camera. We're gonna hook you up.
Yeah, get me to any war-torn countries with a Leica M10 35 1.4.
Don't say that out loud, dude.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I think the Leica series, in my opinion, it's a smaller camera. It's very capable, especially with the M10s with the full-frame sensor. And like just the specs on that sensor itself is absolutely fucking phenomenal.
Nice.
It's small. Like, I mean, with this, like it's a large size camera. I had a Fuji X100T for a while.
Just a little guy.
Yeah, it looks very similar to a Leica. Mm-hmm. And when I would shoot street, it was almost like no one really fucking noticed it. Right. Like it was almost like people just almost thought it was kind of like a joke. But when I throw something like a full frame, DSLR in the camera, like it definitely, they notice.
You see that,
right
you see that when it comes to your eye.
Yeah,
people don't tend to.
Yeah, it's hard.
Miss that.
It's never ending. See, I mean, like I think anything Canon related, especially with like the 60s. I've had that camera for 7 years, and it's been through everything.
Through it, as you can see.
I can tell.
And it's never broken.
But that's awesome, though. That's awesome that that camera like holds memories to you. That's something that you'll keep, and
for sure.
And you're comfortable with it. And that's a whole thing about getting new equipment. It's like you have to learn it all over again. Mm-hmm. Like there's no like easy way to like transition from a Canon over to a Nikon, to a Sony or something like that. So like once you're there, and
it's just mainly the build quality. Same with like the L series lenses and stuff like that. Like I mean, they're indestructible damn near. Right. Like this lens, I bought this lens when I bought the camera. So that was 7 years ago for that lens. And that lens has broken my fall. before like.
Is this one you use, or do you have a zoom lens that you use when you're like on buildings and stuff? Or
No, this is the 7 to 40. It's an f4, so it's not like the fastest of lenses, but
yeah, it was a slow shutter.
I shoot everything with that. Even with an f4, like with the full frame, like I can just bump the ISO. I can crank that up to like 6400, and I can still get what I'm looking for. So I've shot in.
He's like, what?
I've shot in a lot of stuff with that. I also throw grain in my edits.
Yeah,
I noticed that. Yeah, I noticed that. What you got, and kind of you guys kind of like. Would you say you have similar styles, like when it comes to editing too, or do?
It's similar for sure. Yeah. Like the guy I mentioned earlier, Kilogram, our homie, taught me to edit.
Legend.
Like probably taught you to edit.
He's local too.
Yeah,
yeah. He's actually doing like van life stuff now. Him and his girl built a van and they're just traveling around.
He's taking photos. He's living the dream. Man.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, you gotta check him out,
check
bro.
him out.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit him up. See if he wants to come through
to
the
have on the
pod.
podcast.
Dude, for sure.
Hey, drive the van up. We'll film it in the van.
No, for real.
He will do it.
We'll have some stories.
We'll shout him out. Yeah, we'll shout him out on here. We'll tag him.
And he dude, he's
crazy.
If you want to ask who's a inspiration of, I'm sure both of ours, like him for sure.
Kilo for sure.
Yep.
Graham Roper. Yeah, no, he was the one who actually taught me how to like edit photos, because when I first started shooting back in like 2012, I was shooting on film, and then I went to digital and I got a Nikon D3200, and I was shooting on JPEGs. I wasn't even shooting like a raw. I didn't, and then
so your editing process, like you couldn't do much after that.
No, I was also just like I had like an app on my phone, and then so I got like the 60.
What was it?
No, it was an Afterlight. Yeah. Afterlight.
You had very minimum tools of what you could do, but you could still make it look nice though. You can make it look nice because I've done stuff with Instagram's filter.
If you have a 13 iPhone 13, like
you can
actually
do a
it's
lot
funny.
Of cool shit.
I was with my homie the other night, like trying to take photos of him at night. And he had an iPhone, and I had my DSLR, and it was his were way better than
that.
Mine.
After flash, you don't even have to use the flash, and it brightens up the screen. You like look at it, you're like, how the hell did it even take that?
It pissed me off.
It's like a hidden flash in it that like brightens. It's something that like brightens up the screen before you take the picture or something when it's dark. Yeah, it's crazy.
I guess unbelievable. I had never heard of that.
Yeah, I felt
shit, man. I'm still running an iPhone 7.
Relics out here with DSLRs.
But does that obviously like iPhones can only do so much, but like it's like that's crazy to think that like these things pack as much power.
It's only going to get better too, man.
Yeah, and it will be, and you could probably get stuff that adds to it. But like the triple cameras, you can do the zoom out. Where like we could take a picture of you, and you guys would look like this room was huge. It's just like crazy to be able to take something like that.
I think it's going to take a couple more years to where like an iPhone or something like that is going to get to at least the quality of a full-size sensor.
I would still want it in a camera body, like no matter what, because I could never come up with I could never get in someone's face
and
with
do this.
Yeah, like that's so weird.
Yeah,
like
weird.
It'd be cool if it was like built into a lens. Because this would be a nice screen to look at compared to like that.
Oh yeah.
And
it's better camera than I have.
And then you just have it. You have it right there.
Dude, it is. I swear to God.
Dude, it's getting there, and I know like obviously there's crazy cameras, but like. It's just crazy like the quality that you can get out of something so small, and like, and then you have these big ones. Like it used to be back in the day, like these boys would have like fucking 20-foot lenses, crazy.
Well,
shit.
you also got to think about like the platform that majority of people are looking at the images on, right? So like on like a laptop or like a phone, yeah, it's going to look just fine. But if you take that photo and blow it up to like a 20 by 30 or something of that size, and you're really going to start seeing the limitations of an iPhone,
right?
That's why I pretty much only shoot on DSLRs. Yeah. It's because like if I want to blow that photo up to the size of this fucking wall, like it would be no problem. Right. It wouldn't be an issue.
Yeah. No, that's dope, man. And there's just something special, like you said, the therapy of just holding the camera and just like having the camera in your hands.
It's mechanical.
So, yeah, and it's more than a camera, man. It's a lifestyle. So that's I could tell with you guys, like you guys built a friendship through this 100%. Thing like that. That's it. And it's crazy.
Weird, right?
And that's more than just you too. Like, and people like have built friendships through you. You've taken pictures of people. You've taken pictures of other people like that. So I really want to wrap it up with the STL bucket list. So basically. Give us like a few spots that you guys like to kick it at in St. Louis. Like, are there some spots where you go out and shoot and like there's a restaurant that you guys are like, that's the one we go after shooting? Because it takes some shit out of you when you shoot like that. So tell me about your STL bucket list spots.
I just found this spot recently. I got to shout them
really
out.
Good. We just ate
Yeah, we went there today. I'm probably going to butcher the name, but La Manganita. It's on Cherokee. Yep, dude, it's so good.
Step through that one.
Dude, yeah, no, my bad.
We'll figure out the whole
Dude,
thing.
I've been looking for Al Pastor that's like on a spit and cut off like they do
Shredded,
it there.
yeah.
And it's so good. It's like, it's the spot. They need to get like, they need to expand. They need another location. Like that's
the funny thing about Cherokee Street is there's like 6 other restaurants that are
right.
Dude, it's right across the
and
street.
nobody's ever heard of them. They're not on social. They're not on Facebook.
No.
But like you go into the restaurant and it's like $3 for the original. And the best tacos are the ones with just the cilantro and onion.
Right.
Those are the best street tacos. The double flour or the double corn tortillas.
Yep.
Put a little lime on there. That green verde salsa
amazing.
that they got. That
Dude.
green verde salsa.
Yep.
So you like the pastor. I like the asada.
Yeah.
I like the beef tongue, the lingua. I think the tongue tacos.
The lingua,
yeah.
I've never been able to get down with the lingua.
It's very.
I've tried it multiple
It's
times.
weird because it's
on
a tongue.
Sundays.
I mean, all that stuff.
I don't
is
care.
fine.
Yeah, I don't care.
Because it could be chewy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really
So
like.
Cherokee's your guys' bucket list spot. Like that's just the cool. Like,
Oh no, I mean, I would say like Indo.
Indo's a good restaurant. Yeah.
I mean,
Star Bar plug. No, I'm just
No.
Is quick food or?
I mean, like I mean, if you really want to break it down, yeah, for like breakfast stuff, I would say like Rooster.
Yeah.
I would definitely. I mean, I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Wheelhouse actually does have really good.
Their food is fire.
Yeah,
I just went there
their
for a
food
birthday
is
party
really
for
fucking
brunch.
good.
Potatoes are on point.
Medina. Oh
Medina's
man,
fire.
Medina has the best gyros, hands down.
Really?
Oh
I never had
man,
a Euro from there.
There's one over on Wash Avenue. There's another
In the Central
in
West
Central
End.
West End. Yeah.
I think they're opening a third one too.
Okay.
Yeah,
Dude,
no,
it's fire.
Right across the street.
We got
from
good food in
Packy's.
St. Louis.
We
got good
do.
food.
We do.
I mean,
yeah.
we
Diverse
can literally have this conversation for another hour. Like,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like,
man.
what other spot?
So do you guys always like go shoot and then go grab food, grab a beer?
Oh yeah,
It's just
for sure.
it's an event. It's like an
Yeah.
event.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a whole day.
Yeah.
A whole day.
Yep.
But yeah, I would say Indo for sure. In my opinion, like I love sushi, so that's definitely one of the up there. And then Sushi Station.
Okay.
I'm a big fan of Sushi Station. I think that's really good. Or Blue Ocean Sushi.
Blue Ocean on the Loop, Cafe Moki's over there on Grand. Grand's got some cool restaurants like.
We just went there not
You
that
didn't have
long
a
ago,
good
man. The
experience?
service is fucking trash.
Yo, you can
was.
I know, but come on now.
It's all good, bro. It is what it is. It's the podcast, bro. It's raw. I told you it was raw. They probably won't hear it, but if they do, hey, at least somebody's listening.
But
So.
yeah.
It's true though.
It's fair.
It
It's
was
fair.
true.
That was literally what I said before.
The
we
food
went
was
there. I
great.
was like,
No
I've
doubt
been
about
there,
the
and
food.
it
But
was good.
Service has
dog
been, and
water.
you know
It's
how
so
the service
important.
industry is though, is like it's very hard to get those people in there.
Yeah.
And like when you can tell
Especially
when people
right
are
now.
underwhelmed,
Yeah.
you can tell when people are underwhelmed. I've been trying to have grace, but I've had a lot of bad experiences lately where it's just been slow. They forgot stuff.
Yeah.
Just like the basic stuffs you expect when you tip. And I still tip the same.
Right,
because
exactly. That's what I hate. I'm always like,
I still because I
I
can't.
mean,
the same amount of money.
It don't matter. It doesn't matter how it happens. I
Yeah, yeah.
still tip 20%.
Right.
That's just. I just have
don't,
to.
man.
I just have to.
If that
I think
shit was-
you work in the service industry.
I do, but I also understand good
You
service.
understand?
what the tip is for. But
Right.
yeah, I still.
But it is your
I'm-
paycheck. No
I'm-
matter what,
yeah,
it's their
yeah, yeah.
paycheck. So it's.
No, I'm in the
it's,
same camp.
And then what about STL bucket list? We already talked about some photo spots, but like, what are some dope buildings that you guys shot on? Ones that we can maybe talk about on here or not.
I get
All the buildings that were torn down.
I get all my photos from Google Images.
yeah.
Okay, yeah,
All
that's a good spot.
allegedly.
Yeah, he's dope. Google Images is fire.
Yeah, man. He's all city, man. He's everywhere. I mean, I don't really know. I mean, I'd rather not like talk about it
Yeah,
because I don't want people to go either A, blow up the spot, or B, get hurt
Yeah, get hurt. Most.
or get arrested. I don't want that on my conscience. But I mean, if you see something, give it a shot. You know,
Right. Right.
There's a good angle from everywhere.
just go.
There's
Just
no
go.
way to do it but to do it. Just get
Yeah,
out there.
just
You
go
know,
do
like
it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
what it is.
Have you ever been arrested taking photos?
Luckily, no.
Neither. of you
Been
guys?
detained. But
I've
no
been
arrested.
close.
Like, did they wipe your memory card ever? Or nothing like that.
No.
I've heard.
No, they
I've
never
heard
called
stuff
It's
like that
It's
happen.
like goofy and St. Louis. They're
Yeah.
like, what are we even? They're like mad that they are even there. They're like, God damn it!
Yeah.
Like we got so many
some
calls.
kids just really just trying to like. You guys aren't causing. I mean, I guess
Right.
you could get hurt, which would be a big deal.
Yeah.
But like at the end of the day, like you're not. Like there could be way more things going on than
Right.
two kids out there taking
for
photos.
sure.
City
you know?
cops do not care about.
Oh, city cops.
I've been
chased.
chased.
I've never got pulled over. I lived in the city for so long. I've
Right.
never even got pulled
Right,
over by a
right.
cop.
You don't
ever.
have to have plates,
Oh.
damn near.
Yeah, you don't have to have anything. It does not matter.
I mean, I've been chased before, but you know, just high knees, man.
high knees.
Keep it moving. Just outrun
It's hard
them.
to get caught unless you're like in a building, the only one way up, one way down, one way up, one way
I've
down.
been in those situations too, but I mean, for the most part, like,
Just wait.
You got to think like
They're not coming in, really. Like
me and Kilo
or hide. You know,
we were there and they were coming in the building looking for us, and we had to like climb all the way up into the attic of
hide
on
there.
that
bad
page,
feeling.
that
Bad
page
feeling.
joint.
Yeah.
And hide for hellas until they leave.
It was like
Terrible
2 hours.
feeling.
We were there for 2 hours, and the
Hell
cops
no.
literally stayed there. Well, there was a scrapper that was in the building.
Yeah.
So they thought you guys were probably.
Well, the scrapper like pulled his truck up, and he had a trailer, and then the trailer had all the scrap metal. So they knew that
Somebody was up there.
It's either
Pretty obvious.
it has to be this building, you know. So, and the scrapper was in that building when we went in, and we just ignored it, and eventually the cops came, and we had to climb all the way up like these like stairs that were non-existent, and go up into the attic and just hang out there for a couple hours until they all left.
Hell no. That sounds horrible. Nasty ass attic. Just.
Oh yeah, it smelled terrible. It was okay though. We didn't get in trouble for it. So
That's crazy,
win-win.
man. That's crazy. Well, that's all I got, man. I mean, anything else you guys want to add? in?
Shout out Quickie.
Yeah. So we got some Quickie chargers in here. A little bit about Quickie, man. The rechargeable batteries. You can buy these anywhere. If you want to dig deep and tell people about a little bit more about them.
Yeah. So me, Dion Glaspie, and Brian Sanchi, we started this company about 2.5 years ago. It's basically a portable charger that you can buy at 34 different bars. We also have vending machines and stuff like that. We basically found out that, like, because Brian and Dion, we all worked at the same nightclub at Start Bar, and we realized that the biggest problem was the fact that like people would be like, "Hey, can I get a charger to plug my phone in behind the bar?" And it was always a pain in the ass. And then if someone knocks it over, we're responsible for that.
Their phone dies, they can't get an Uber, shit like that.
And yeah, they're completely biodegradable lithium-ion batteries. They are rechargeable as well. Even the plastic casing is it's not plastic actually, but it's all biodegradable. Yeah. And they are rechargeable too. So definitely check those out. And it's great. It's a phenomenal product. It works perfectly fine.
The vending machines are dope.
The vending machines are good, yeah.
Those are crazy.
And we're putting them more all over the place.
Are you guys expanding out of St. Louis, or are you guys
We're working on
it?
it, yeah. We're looking at Texas and Arizona.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be our next stops.
Hell yeah. Gas stations, all types
Gas
of stuff.
stations, yeah, everywhere.
Yeah, man, that's cool. So Quickie taking over St. Louis. Let's get it. So, hey, thank you guys for coming on today.
Thanks for having me.
Appreciate you, man.
Again, STL Bucket List Show, guys. I wanted to thank Half Coast Studios today for letting us use the studio. Obviously, they did the audio, video, recording, and these guys are badass, man. They're going to put my podcast on all major platforms, including Spotify, Apple, and YouTube. So go check this out, guys. Make sure you guys subscribe. We're going to drop the info on how to find these photos so you guys can get inspiration and maybe do some street photography yourself. So thank you.